Hi guys, this is Aiko of Texas again, here to give you another really cool review of a tarot deck that I think you're going to enjoy. Where I got this one is kind of a fun thing. It's from the Spirit of Halloween store. I go to them every year. They come in my area. They sell costumes and all kinds of t-shirts and all kinds of stuffed animals and zombie dolls, you name it, they've got it. Last year I was really hung up on uh, Christmas before Halloween or Halloween before Christmas or something. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's I've the one with Sally and Jack and Zero and all those cool characters. It slips my mind tonight on the name of it. I think it's Christmas before Halloween. Anyway, I found all these cool things last year that had to do with that and coffee mugs and all kinds of stuff. And this year I really didn't see anything. Most everything I was looking at was from more like horror film type of stuff, and I'm really not into horror films per se. So I didn't really come home with much, except like last year, I found a tarot deck last year from the Spirit store, and I really liked it. It's not one I pull out and look at very often. It's pretty much in black and white, and it's okay. But this one I want to show you came in this really cool box. I kind of have to show it at an angle because it is silver, silver metallic, and or a foil type of a thing. And I really do like the box. It looks like a coffin. It's like in a coffin shape, which I think is pretty awesome. The box opens from the top, which I'll show you that in just a minute. It's called Memento Mori Tarot. It's made in China, as many decks are made in China. Publisher wise, I think it's just published exclusively for the Spirit Halloween. So it's distributed by Spirit Halloween from, it looks like Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. So that, I don't know if that's their headquarters or what. But anyway, let's get into the cards and take a look. Now, on the back were cards, and when I went to it, this whole thing was sealed in plastic, like they usually are. So I couldn't tell. And I've been learning to be quite skeptical when I look on the back of decks. I think I said this in my last video. If I only see like majors back here that have pictures on them, I'm apt to believe that it very well, especially at the price of this deck, I'm actually believing that it could be a pip deck. And I have a few pip decks. I don't really want any more in my collection. They're difficult for me to use and read, and that's that. And I went into that on the last time. So I like illustrations on all 78 cards I want to be illustrated. And I tend to like them to look a whole lot like the RWS, but and then use oracle cards as like enhancers or support cards for my particular path and journey of things that I read. So anyway, let me open this one, and it opens from the top. Now these cards are not like all together, and I will tell you why in just a second. But the cards sit inside this little spongy cavity that's in down here, and the cards themselves were in cellophane as well, so that had to be broken off once I got into the box. The problem is with this particular one is I cannot get the cards back in this particular space. Even it's 78 of them, and I've put a few in at a few in a time, a few more in, and a few more in, thinking that I could actually get them all back in that little spot to be nice and neat. But I cannot. And I am very worried about damaging the deck. That I don't want to do. So I'm not forcing the cards into that space. I may end up putting this particular deck into a drawstring pouch and then putting it back in this box. And that way they won't get all spread apart and everything. But the box is really cute in this little coffin shaped box. So setting him aside, let's take a look at the cards. Now, I did pull out my Rider Waite to look at beside these because I think that that's going to be kind of interesting. If you hear my dog in the background, it is at 7 o'clock at night. And this is like an hour early because we have one dog that has a eating disorder and she thinks it's 7 o'clock all day long. You can usually set your clock by the dog for her dinner, but for her snack, that's like 7 o'clock all day long. But they do get an evening little snack, and that's what she's complaining about in there, is that she hadn't gotten that yet. Her name is Slippers. She's a sweetheart, but she does have an eating disorder. All right, this particular deck, I guess because it came in a coffin box, all of the cards, the people depicted on the cards, and within the cards, you're going to see a lot of skeletal figures. But that kind of makes it neat. These cards are bright. Pamela Smith did her artwork. It's bright and cheerful, and it's got a lot of the white background stuff. In contrast, you can see here, I just happened to come across the Eight of Wands there. You're going to see this is a darker deck. And I don't mean darker in meaning. We're going to talk about that at the end. I just mean darker in color, tones, and hues of the in the artwork. So that's all I mean by that. I don't mean that this deck becomes automatically some shadow deck or some something from the dark side or anything. It's just darker in color, and that's what I meant by that. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the cards, and I may pull a card from here just to show you how exactly they are to Pamela Smith's artwork. This line pencil work, I don't know if those were colored pencils she used. I'm not sure what medium she used for her artwork. But let's take a look at these. These, of course, are just reproduced from these by a different artist that kind of used hers, but depicted it the way he wanted to with skeletal faces and heads. So you can see, like the Seven of Wands, that would be the same Seven of Wands that's in here, but he has a skeleton head. So that's just the difference there. Here we have the Six of Wands. So I'm sure those of you that know your RWS recognize everything in that picture to be like it would be over here. And let's see, maybe I can quickly find that Six of Wands. And once you know, I probably can't. When I need to, I can't. Okay, let me take a moment. Just pause with me just a moment. All these podcasters that I watch a lot of trials. And all these podcasters that I watch, they're always forever doing something on their computer, and I wait and I wait and I wait. So I figured that if I have to do the same thing, then that's what I do. Well, guess what? The six is out of order, wouldn't you know? Okay, so go into this set, maybe. Oh, there it is, right there on the bottom. So you can see there, it's the exact same card. It's got the wreath up on one of the wands, riding the horse. Horse's face is turned forward, and it's just color-wise, it's just darker. And you can see the face of the gentleman in the RWS is just a human face, whereas in here we have a skeleton face. So that's kind of what I'm saying. The whole deck is kind of done that way. So let's show you some more. I'm just going to pick up a stack here, and I won't show every single card, because if you go to the Halloween Spirit store and you want this, you're going to want to see these cards for the first time, kind of for yourself. So I'm not doing a complete flip through. I'm just kind of showing you some of them. So Pentacles, let's get into the Pentacles. Okay, there's a page there. The Knight. Okay, there's the 10. And any of you that, like I say, use the RWS, this is exactly that picture except for the face, the skeletal face, and the color choices are not the bright, but they're all the same. This is the man tending to the plants. And let's see. Okay, there's the Two of Pentacles, balance. Same guy with the same infinity sign, the Two Pentacles balancing. Same card, but this one has a skeletal face and darker colors. Let me see if I can find him quickly. Wouldn't that be cool? If I can get to him quickly. Seems like every time I go to do something quickly these days, doesn't work out. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Here he is. Okay, so that's pretty good to show you. These cards are the same size as well as a Rider-Waite. So I'm glad that I did pull that out to show you that part. Card quality wise, they're about the same as my particular RWS. They're the same card stock. So they'll shuffle the same as those if you do shuffling. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so let's look at a few more of the cards of the minors. I'm going to show you the majors, but I'm going to show you those in time lapse with a little bit of fun music to go with this deck, since it's kind of a creepy skeletal deck. It's kind of different. I could see myself using this though in place of this one over here, just to change it up. Or maybe these would be neat to choose around Halloween or on a stormy night or something like that. That would be fun. But anyway, let's get on to some of these cups. The Eight of Cups. Four of Cups. Boredom. Being offered something to... All these cups are in the upright positions, which means that it's not as bad as this little dude thinks it is, but he's just bored with relationships, or bored with... cups tend to be about relationships. Matters of the heart. And he's just bored with whatever's going on, but he's kind of being offered a peace there. He's like... There's always something positive that comes from consideration in cards. I read them like they're little poems. They're little stories. They're celebration. The Three of Cups, celebrations. So, let's see there. Page of Wands. Nine of Wands. Okay, so we're at the World card. So I'm imagining, yes, the rest of these are all the majors. So these are the ones that I'm going to put to some music for you. We kind of popped through the minors well enough that you know this one other thing. This deck was a little bit on the bent, warpy side like that. And so every time I get them out, I try to bend them. But the cellophane that came with it. But the deck was about $17, not with tax yet, but you know, you have to add tax to that, but you're kind of getting what you paid for. So they're not going to be like a linen or a rose petal or anything. I think they will spread out really, pretty nicely. But you know, shuffling wise, let me set these to the side. And shuffling wise, because they are bent, maybe if I would start shuffling them and bending them in opposite direction, man. They are needing to be worn in because they are tough on my hands. I'm not even going to try to do that again. I have arthritis in my hands as it is. So anyway, that is those are them, the minors. So we're going to go through the majors. Let me get them in an order for us, and then I'll see you back here. But you'll see these done to a little bit of fun music. So I'll catch you on the other side in just a moment. I hope you enjoyed the flip through of the major arcanas with me. One thing I will say about the deck too, that I've noticed about some other decks like this that are this black shiny, when they're shiny like this and they're kind of glary and everything, they actually do fingerprint up a little bit too. So you're going to get some smudgies on the back of them. So occasionally you might want to take your cards and do them like that to get the smudgies off. All right, so those were the majors, and then all of these up here, these are the minors. So there's 78 cards in the deck. The other thing I will tell you is on the minor arcana cards, the word is written here like 7 of swords. So they are all numbered with a written out, the number written out. The minors, however, to get them back into an order, they are not numbered. So you need to know your order of your, the order of your major arcanas, and how they fall. If you've got one of those LWBs, the little white books that come with some decks, you may want to pull that out for this or any other little tarot books. I have a lot of little tarot books that will help you keep these in the order that they go. I've probably told you this before, but the major arcanas tell a story, and it goes on a journey. The first part is called Departure, and that goes through the Chariot card. So that goes through card 7. And then after that, you have your initiation cards. And I believe initiation goes through the 13th card, which is the Death card. That's your initiation cards. And then you have your return, which is Temperance through the world. So if you know the story of the major arcana, you can always get them back in order. So that is my new little Spirit of Halloween tarot deck. I had a lot of fun finding it. I have to tell you that I was very worried about this being a pip deck, but the manager of the store happened to be there, and when I questioned whether it was pip or not, she said, well, let's just open one. And she did. She opened it for me so that I could take a look at it. And I said, oh, I hate for you to do that because now that one probably won't sell. And she said, well, guess what? I'm the manager, so I can do whatever I want. So, cool thing about being a manager, I guess. So here it is. Like I say, look for it on the shelf. If you have a Spirit of Halloween store in your area, look for this one. It says 14 plus. That's probably a good age range there. And it runs about, like I say, about with tax, title, and license and out the door, you're getting it for under $20, which is good. All right, I want to close this one out just by telling you that I appreciate you coming every time to look at my reviews. I do want to say a little bit of sad news this week about Charlie Kirk, and I'm very saddened by that. I am a Christian, and I am a Christian through and through. Christ is my Savior, and I love God, and everything that I do, even with tarot, is all about the Spirit and all about Him and giving glory to Him. And these cards for me are not fortune-telling anything. That's not what I use them for. I don't look at them like that. I look at them like pieces of artwork, and inspirational. They're just like scripture to me. I also use the Bible. So they can go hand in hand. They can be for good. That's how I use them. And I just wanted to add that. My heart and prayers go out to Erica and her 2 girls and the whole Kirk family. And I think that was a very, very unnecessary, just a bad deal. And I feel he was assassinated in cold blood, just trying to go out and be a positive influence and a positive voice for a lot of young people. And he'll be missed. And America needs to use this as a turning point and look at ourselves and see what we are doing in our lives and put Christ first. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Love you all. See you next time.